What's up, people? I'm Chris, coach from the couch here, and I want to break down my power rankings for this week in NBA. And let me be clear, these are my personal power rankings based on who I think can win it all. It's not just on who's killing it, who had a hot streak, although that does play a factor into these rankings. You can raise or drop based on who you beat and the quality of your wins. Dominating a team like the Hornets isn't going to get you a big boost in the rankings. That's just not reality over here. So let's get into it. At number 10, we got the New York Knicks. I'm just not impressed by the Knicks at this point. They cannot beat the teams that are high quality in the NBA. Just reality. Whether they're in the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference, the Knicks are going to lose to them. Now, the Knicks will dominate, and I mean dominate teams that are below 500. But any team that's a playoff contender or, they can probably win it all, they aren't really going to compete with them. They have a losing record against those teams and the top teams in their conference, like the Cavs and the Celtics, even OKC in the West, they just get bullied every time they play. I think part of this is Tom Thibodeau. I don't think Tibbs is a championship coach. He has this attitude of running his players into the ground. I know we all see it. Like that clip when they were down, I think 20 or something like that, 18 with like 3 or 4 minutes left. Your star player, Cat, is already hobbling around and you send them back into the game as if you're not already down. The game is over, man. Like, and up to that point, I didn't really see anything from them that would make me think, yeah, they can blow this out of the water. They can come back. No, I don't think they have the dog in them like that. I think the Knicks are a piece away on their bench, and in the coaching, it's just not where it needs to be a champion. At 8, I have the Pacers. The Pacers are another team where, like, I just feel like they're missing the it factor that can help them get over the top. Miles Turner, Siakam, and the other little pieces they have, like Halliburton and stuff, those guys are good, but none of them are the stars I would trust. They're the guys that I like, but I don't trust them in a close, tight knit game. That game, I just watched them play against Denver. They didn't really show up like that. It wasn't like this super competitive and we're going to pull this out and win type of game. Every time they had a chance to get back in a game or take a lead or something, they just kept making mistakes. And I mean, little mistakes, like a little turnover here, like Toppin was just throwing the ball everywhere, a lot of bad shots. I don't think they have that formula to win it all, but they are competing. They will have a spot in the playoffs for sure to be able to make some noise. At 8, I got the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves moved up to 8 for me because they just beat OKC in overtime, and it was impressive because they beat them without having Anthony Edwards on the floor for a lot of the fourth quarter, and I think a lot of overtime too. He was on the bench, and I love the way Nas Reed plays. Dillingham, like they play with so much energy and ferocity. I also think that's the thing that kind of messed them up sometimes, where they are a little overzealous and a little too aggressive, you know? And in some games, it come out and it's like they don't show up. They're just really flat. They'll have some really bad losses. So I think the Timberwolves are in such a weird space because at the beginning of the year, we all thought, okay, how are they going to look without having Cat, who's been there forever, this whole new look team. And they kind of been trending downward, and it's like an up and down thing. I hope they can figure out something like before the playoffs come. They want to have some kind of consistency, some kind of winning rhythm because the up and down they've had recently isn't a winning formula. And I think if they go into the Western Conference playoffs this year with that type of energy, they could be out in the first round. Like, and they could get dog walked in the first round because there's so many competitive teams in the West right now. At 7, I have the Rockets. The Rockets are another team that's just so interesting. I think their youth plays into why they're so inconsistent, right? They play really good at home in front of their home crowd, and Udoka's they're getting coached out of this world. Like he's an incredible coach. It's easy to forget how good of a coach he was with Boston, and he got him to the finals and everything before his old personal debacle. But like the Rockets are playing really good. Again, it's just inconsistency, and I don't think you can get around that when you got all these young guys everywhere. And I don't know if they're even thinking about personal accolades, but sometimes when I watch them, I feel like that's their focus. Like, I don't know, it's only me because sometimes they just go off on tangents and play hero ball. And Dylan Brooks, with his attitude and energy, it's good. You want a dog like that. But again, he's one of those guys that is a dog, but I put him in a Draymond category where they're so competitive. Sometimes it's a little too much and they cross a line, you know? And then they themselves aren't even focused on a game. Like they're so focused on getting somebody else out of their game that they lose focus of their own game. That's where Brooks is a lot for me. So I think they are interesting. Like the Rockets could be in the first round and like run somebody out the gym and win gentleman sweep 4-1. At the same time, if they ran into somehow Denver in the first round, it'll probably be the Clippers, honestly, but they ran into Denver in the first round or one of these more seasoned teams, I could see them getting ran out the gym too. That's the kind of team they are right now. They could get ran out the gym and it would not shock me whatsoever. I would either way it goes with them, I'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I think for them, what's good is they have a future to look forward to. Like they've set themselves up for the future so they can win. At 6, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. They just lost a good game to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they played well, actually. I don't think it was terrible. I think it was high quality, good basketball. But again, I think with them, they have this younger players they have to depend on to be smart and execute. And for me, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like Ja is like hurt or something. He's not been consistent. He's kind of there and then he's not. Like he can score 25 sometimes. Other nights he's struggling to get to 17. Like he's been really up and down. Same with Desmond Bain. Like what is going on? I thought Bain was going to be like a top wing in the league. At this point, he's okay, but I don't think that he is performing at this. I won't say all NBA, obviously, but he's not nowhere near that level. Not all NBA, not all star, not anything. He's just kind of out there. And when I first saw him in his second year, third year in the league, I was like, okay, this guy's going to be really good. But he just seemed to kind of plateau, you know. And I think for Memphis, they need to have that next level. Like Triple J is at that next level. His defense is there. He's making so many better decisions on offense where he's taking the right shots. You know, he's getting to the rim more. He's working really good. He still fouls the most in the league, but I think that just comes with the territory of him being a good defender, right? Take what you can get. Now, 5 to 3 will be my contenders. These are my contenders to win it all. By the way, if you think my list is terrible so far, let me know. Tear me up down in the comments. Let me know what it is. Let me know where I'm wrong. I am open to being wrong. You let me know your opinion. At 5, I got the Denver Nuggets. I know this would piss off a lot of Nuggets fans, but that loss to the Lakers really showed me a lot. It showed me that if you put the pressure on MPJ and Aaron Gordon and all those other young role players to win a game, I don't think they'll show up. Like, I don't think that depending on Russell Westbrook in the playoffs is going to be a good idea. Now, again, I'm open to being wrong about this, but when I watched the way that that team played when Jokic was just taken away, because the game plan was simple front Jokic and double him when he gets the ball, which means somebody else is always going to be open. That was the entire game. And the Nuggets, the rest of their players, all the supporting cast really didn't, I mean, they played decent, but obviously not enough to win the game. And really, truthfully, if you watch the game, it wasn't all that competitive. When they made a run, the Lakers made a run right back. And it was just back and forth. And it was always this gap that Denver really couldn't close like that. Like Michael Porter Jr. is one of those players that he's hot and cold. When he's hot, he can give you 30. When he's cold, he disappears. Only thing he does is scoring. He's not going to get you a bunch of rebounds. He's not locking up on defense. And it's just that's who he is. Aaron Gordon is a nice, solid role player, but the Nuggets have built their entire team to really thrive on Jokic. So if you as a team find out how to take him away, then the other players got to show up. And I don't know if they're even mentally ready to do that. Because think about how long they've been in this play. Jokic has 3 MVPs, and he's still in the MVP conversation this year. So, like, if you take him away, now the team has to show up without him. And I mean, not to take away like he's not playing. I think for teams like that, because they can game plan for it and strategize, is different. When they're on the court and it's like, okay, he's just not here because the defense is playing really good and they're locking him up. Now you got to go to work. Instead of getting your usual 12, we need 17 from you and we need 24 from you. I don't know if the Nuggets can do that night in, night out. I don't know. And there's a couple teams in the West that can lock Jokic down with that same, like the Lakers did it first. Some other team, I'm telling you now, is going to try that same method against the Nuggets and take away Jokic. And we're going to see how the role players and other guys have to step up. And we'll see what happens. We will see. At 4, I have the Lakers. Obviously, I have to put them above the Nuggets because they just beat them, obviously. And since January, they've been a high quality team. Really good defense, really good offense, and it's just flowing together. Honestly, since Anthony Davis has left the lineup, the team has just been evolving into something that's completely different. And I don't think a lot of other teams have adjusted to their adjustments yet, right? Like Luka's now in the lineup, and it's hard to guard. Like you got to come out there with a strategy and a game plan, a format. If you don't have one, the Lakers are going to run you out of the gym at this point. They're running out there with shooters and defenders. Even Rui Hachimura is playing good defense. And I told y'all in one of my other videos, my X Factor video, I'm going to plug it up here. He's a solid role player. He's one of the best in the league, and he's showing up, right? He's going to get you 15 points, 12 points, sometimes a 20 ball, but now he's playing even better defense, which I think those kind of small things are what takes this team to the next level. When Rui's hitting shots and playing defense, then you got Gabe Vincent hitting shots. DFS is already out there playing his dog style of defense, and every game he gets like one or two backdoor cuts or a little layup here and there, and it just breaks you down as a defense. So the Lakers are in a perfect position. I don't even talk about LeBron and Luka; they're obviously killing it. That's easy work. At three, I have the Boston Celtics. Watching them play, the only team I see them really get up for, like we want to beat you, is the Knicks. Like when they play the Knicks like they're the big brother and the Knicks are the little brother, and they just gotta just dog them every time they play. But outside of that, I don't really see the competition from them. It almost seems like Boston won a championship last year, and they just got unfocused this season. They seem really bored with basketball. Like, if we win, it's cool. If we lose, it's cool too. They don't really seem to care. They're being so passive. Like, whatever. And I think that could possibly bite them in the butt when they get to the playoffs because we've seen teams before try to do that thing where they turn it on and turn it off. And I don't know if they have that. Like that's a real like championship DNA type of thing. Now again, they could have it. I'm saying I haven't seen it from them. We got to see you go back to back before I can believe in you just turn it on, turn it off type stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how Boston closes out the season because I think they're already on a crash course to get to the conference finals with the Cavs. Like that should be their focus. Whether they run into Indiana or the Knicks, whoever they have to play, they should be able to walk through all of those teams and be waiting in the conference finals for the Cavs. All right, best of the best, the top two. You know what it is. The Cavs and the Thunder. This could really be one or two based on what you personally think. So I want you guys to let me know who the best team in the league is to you right now, the Cavs or the Thunder. Both of these teams are killing it. Both of them are dominating. Both of them are growing, and they're both still young. They're like on this perfect alignment right now. Like, and I love it for basketball because now there's an expectation and a pressure on them to show up, not only every game, but especially in the playoffs. Like, we're going to see a different level of playoff basketball this year because it's been a while since we had a team on the East and the West that were so evenly matched and really dominated the entire season. Like, at this point, if you want to rank either one of them one or two, it doesn't matter to me. But I'm really excited to see how they handle this in the playoffs, right? Because there's one side of you that might say, we dominated all these teams in the season. We didn't lose over 20 games, which I don't think either one of these teams will. And like when you take that approach, it's like that could hurt you because you're looking at all of these teams and kind of underestimating them. Now, if they flip a switch and turn it up in the playoffs, you got to be ready for that. I don't know if either of these teams can handle that because we saw OKC get handled by the Mavs last year in the playoffs. So I don't know. We saw what happened with the Cavs. Look, like both of these teams could end up losing in like the second round in a 7-game series on a game winner. And you'd be like, damn, like they really lost like that. And they dominated all season, because I still don't think that they're there just yet, right? It's always that one more step you got to take to be like, a champion at this point, they have to do what Boston did last year. Go win it. That's what you got to do. Both of these teams are in that same position right now. So I'm excited to see who comes out on top. But you let me know down in the comments below where did I get it wrong. Let me know what your power rankings are. I'm Chris, coach from the couch. I will see you next time.